Hi, and welcome to yet another edition of Ask Miss Judes. I trust you've been keeping well and generally staying positive. Today, I thought I would talk very quickly on happiness is a decision. Sounds weird, right? Yeah, but that's life. Happiness is a decision. It would have been nice if I went into all the dictionary meaning of what happiness is. But truth is, I'm sure you know what happiness means. It's that state of mind where you're at peace, everything just feels good. Sometimes you just smile for no apparent reason, or you think so, but anyway, it could be that you just remembered a nice experience in your past. One thing that I think we can all agree on is nobody has ever said, oh, I have way too much happiness. How do I let go some of this? It is that one commodity that we do not ever have enough of. So today I thought we would just explore very quickly how happiness can be sustained or why it is a decision. So for example, if you are happy because you are beautiful or handsome like most people are, that's kind of cool. But what happens if something happens to you? If you're happy because you have a good paying job, what happens when you lose the job? If you're happy because somebody's in your life, what happens when that person gets taken away? And all these questions will lead us to the point to say, essentially, what is happiness and how could we find it? That takes us to the decision position. Now, if I put to you that if happiness is a decision, then irrespective of what happens to you, you can decide to be happy. I discovered this through a painful experience in my own life. I'm sure I've shared in a video or two before how I struggled with a health issue for more than a decade. Eventually, it was diagnosed as fibromyalgia, although we still don't know what it is. But in the throes of that painful experience, so painful that sometimes I was even afraid of nights because nights were worse where I had nothing else to distract me and I have to navigate pain all night. At one stage, I just turned to my husband and I said, you know what? I am glad I can feel pain because it means I'm alive. And just that decision, simple as it sounds, made a huge difference even in my pain threshold, my ability to cope. And so that led me down a road where I investigated other people who have navigated difficult situations and remained happy. And I came to the conclusion that when you decide to be happy, it really wouldn't matter what happens to you, who said what or does what. The decision is yours to make. Therefore, no one should have control over your happiness. You have that decision. Can you imagine how liberating that is? To just know that whatever happens or doesn't happen in my environment doesn't faze me. Now, I've met a few people who, even at the point of death, were still so happy, even though their bodies were ravaged with pain, but they were happy because they knew who they were, they knew what contributions they had made to life, and they were prepared to meet their maker. Although that might sound scary or frightening, the truth is, once you decide that your happiness resides with you, no one can switch on your happiness light off and on as they choose. So ignore the person who may have said something horrible about you. You know how I cope with those kind of people? They must have such a dreadful life that they want to make other people unhappy. So instead of anger, extend compassion towards them and pray that God will help them to find happiness in their own life so they can contribute to making other people happy. I'm going to leave you with a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Something to keep your happiness index up. And I borrowed this from my sister, one of my younger sisters. Her motto was, rejoice forevermore. It doesn't matter what happens to Regina, she's rejoicing. And as I went through my own experiences of discovering how to remain happy despite what was happening in my environment, I've settled on her motto. But then she derives it from the book of First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16, which is rejoice forevermore. And then the next verse says, pray continually. And then the following verse says, remember to give thanks to God, because this is the will of God for Christ Jesus. And I was like, okay, so if I decide to rejoice forevermore, one way I can keep that decision is to pray continually. So when something troubles my space, instead of going sorry for myself and feeling sad, I pray that God will just let that pass away and show some illumination and compassion to the person or the source from which this is stemming. So rejoice forevermore. Remember that your decision to be happy rests with you and solely with you. Having said that, it will come with practice. So if for any reason you need some little pointers on how to develop your own happiness index, drop a comment in the comment section down below, or send an email to askmissjudes@gmail.com. Again, ask Miss Judes, so that's AskMZJUDZ@gmail.com, and let's have this conversation and spread some happiness wherever you are. Thanks. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let's keep the happiness index rolling forward. Bye.